Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Leopard Bookshop, and today I'm going to be talking you through all the different loops in Roblox Studio. This is the while loop and the for loop. So let's get started. I'm just going to go over here in Roblox Studio and click on Classic Base Plate and just open up the Classic Base Plate right here. Now, for this video, you are going to need Explorer and Output open. So what you want to do is you want to just come to the top here, click on View, and you just want to click on Explorer here, and Output at the top right here. Just like that, so you get these two windows open. What you're now going to do is you're going to go to Server Script Service in the Explorer right here, click on the plus, and open up a script. This script is where we're going to write our code for today. So you can just delete from Hello World, we won't be needing that. And let's get started. Firstly, with the while loops. So, for a while loop, what is a while loop? A while loop looks like this, and essentially what it does is while whatever you put here is true, it will do whatever is within the while loop. So for example, if I write here, while true do, obviously true is always true. So whatever I put in here, print hi, it will do this forever. Because while loop's infinite, they run constantly. So it's too much for the computer to handle. So we need to put a small wait in here of literally just 0.01 seconds, or the computer won't be able to cope with it. Let's just click run and see how this works. In the output, right down here, we can see it's printing hi an infinite number of times, just like this. You can see infinite number of highs because of the amount that we printed. It's doing it forever. So we're already at 500 right there. Let's just stop this for a second and go back to our script. So you could do many different things with a while loop, but for now I'm going to show you one thing you can do, which is how to use them with a variable. So let's just create a variable, local count equals 0, just like this. This is a local variable within this script. And what we're going to do, within the while, between the while and do, we're going to put while count, spell it right, while count is less than 10, do. So currently this is true, because we originally set count to 0. What we're going to do is, after here, we're going to put count plus equals 1. Plus equals is adds 1 to count. So count plus equals 1, so every time we print it, we also add 1 to count. Which means if we run this, it should only print 10 times. So you can see it's printed 7 down here. If you scroll to the top, it's printed 3. 3 plus 7, that's 10 times that it's printed high. Because after 10 times, this has become false. Count is no longer less than 10, and so it's stopped for the while loop. But say you had a while true do, but you still wanted to stop it after a certain point. How do you do that? Well, there is a way to do that, and it's using the break function, just like that. If we run this code, what it will do is you can see it's only printed high once, only once. The reason why is it's gone into this loop because true is true. It's printed high, it's done the wait, and then it's broken. Broken, what it does is it goes out of the loop. For example, if down here, we say after the loop, we say finish and start this code, you can see what is printed is it's printed hi and then finish because it's come into the loop and then got out of the loop. But say we didn't have this break, would it ever print finish? Well, the answer is no. You do not want to put any code after a while loop which you're never going to break. The reason for this is because this code will never run. You can see it's printing hi, but it will never print finish because it will always stay in this while loop. So if you're never going to break a while loop, never put any code after it because it will not run. And like that, we're going to move to the for loops. So what's the for loop look like? It looks almost exactly the same, apart from instead of while, it's for. But what does a for loop do? A for loop can run through a set of list or numbers or string, or just repeat a certain number of times. For now, we're going to do a certain number of times. So, for example, I'm just going to use I. You can use any letter you want or anything, but I'm going to use I because this is the normal thing you use in a for loop. I equals 5, 1, minus 1. Do. What this will do, actually, let's get rid of the minus and switch these around so it's 1, 5, 1. Just like this. Now what this will do is it will get I and it will set I to count up from 1 to 5. So 1 is the starting number, 5 is the ending number, and 1 is how much it goes up each time. So if we print I right here and then run this, you'll see what it's done is it's printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like we asked it to. Say we print minus 1 and then change it around like we had to start with, then what it will do is it will do the same thing but starting at 5 and going down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just like that. But what can you do with a for loop? For example, if you had a game where it's, say, maybe a fighting game or something, and you want a break between matches, then you could do a break. So, for example, print break, just like this. Then we'll use these two full stops, which basically you can combine variables and strings in a print. And then we'll put I right here, click run, and what this will do is this is printed break 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We don't want it to be instant, so let's go into our code and add a little wait of 1 second. That's to be 1 second, and then what you'll see, break 5, 3, 2, 1, and then the match will start again. So that's one thing you can do with a for loop. Another thing you can do with a for loop is create blocks, and this can be quite fun. In your game, it can be used to create things with code instead of having to come here, get the part, and then go to model, move it around, scale it. You can do all that with code. And if you want to create more than one, you can actually do that with a script. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly set this to 30. Whatever number you set the first one to is how many parts it will create. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable called new part, and I'm going to set it to instance.new, open brackets, apostrophe, part, apostrophe, close brackets. Then we'll set new part dot parent equal to workspace, so it will spawn in the workspace over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set new part dot position equals vector3.new, and then you can set to whatever position you want. For now, I'm just going to put 0, 0, 0. So this will spawn roughly in this area, hopefully about here. I'm not sure exactly where. So now we'll add a little wait, so 0.1 seconds, and now we'll just run this code. You can see, quite fun, it is creating 30 parts, just like that. And so you can make this to make some very cool stuff. For example, if I was to change the Y position to 100, then what this would do is this is spawning them in the middle of the air, and they're falling to the ground. So, if I create, say, 1,000 parts, that's a lot of parts, I'll change it to 0.01 seconds so it's a bit quicker. Click run. We are creating a cascade of parts from the ground, spawning in midair up here. and falling down. There are lots of different things you can do with this, including you can make the parts anchored. For example, making them here, we'll only create one part for this, and we'll say new part dot anchored equals true. If we do this and run it, you can see it's just staying in the air because it's been anchored in the air like this. And so with this you can create some good structures, like maybe a platform in the air of a part. But that's all for today's video. I hope this helped you. I hope you do some fun things with these two types of loops. If you've got any further video suggestions, please pop them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. As well as this, please hit like and smash subscribe. It really helps me, and I hope these videos also really help you. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in another video.